Good morning, everyone. This is Debbie Henderson from Debbie's Designs. Welcome, everyone. I'm just going to give it a few more seconds for everyone to join me this morning. I'm just getting my iPad ready so I can see you. So I haven't been on with you guys for about a month now. It's just been crazy busy here. I did end up canceling a few classes during the month of December, but I am now back on track. So today we are going to be doing the 3D Thursday that I do each month. And what I'm going to create, and before I start that actually, I just want to thank everyone for your orders in December. You'll all be receiving this free card kit in the mail. And don't forget that I'm offering 20% off as a thank you to all my customers this month for placing orders with me in 2019. It's been a great year. Along with that, I am also offering, I'm going to have 5 door prizes. And I wanted to show you what those door prizes are. So anybody that orders, including Paper Pumpkin, one of the prizes is the Take Your Pick tool. You've seen me use that before. The next prize is To Every Season. It's got a little bit of everything along with the little mini punches to go with it. The third prize is the envelope punch board. And you'll see that I put some sample envelopes in there. This is brand new. And 2 more prizes, they get bigger as I show them to you, will be the paper trimmer, our brand new paper trimmer. This one is mine just to show you what it looks like. And my last prize is the Simply Scored scoring tool. So 5 prizes that I'll be drawing for once the month of December has been completed. And I'll add all of the names for people that placed orders with me in the month of December. So now let's get going on what I'm creating for you today. Sorry about the noise, I'm just putting everything aside. So this is the little box I'm going to show you how to create today. If you have any last minute gifts that you need to wrap, and I'm using the Christmastime is Here suite. The bottom of the box is I used the thick Whisper White. I lined it with designer paper, and then this fits right on top, and it's got a cute little tag on the front and a sentiment. Isn't that cute? So this is a very simple project to create, and I'm going to show you how to do that. What we need is an 8.5 11 by 11 piece of Whisper White thick cardstock, the Christmastime is Here designer paper, and I'm actually going to cut that the same size as the cardstock. So 8.5 by 11. And what I did with this leftover piece, that's what I used for the tag on the front. I just flipped it over to this side, and there's enough there to make 2 per strip. Okay, now this side's going to be cut at 11. Now what is simple about this box is you have 2 pieces of paper. You're going to score them all exactly the same. So on all 4 sides, I'm going to score at 1.5. And if you'll notice with our new paper trimmer, we have the right-hand side to the track is 1.5 inches. So you just need to go right to the end. Make sure you use a scoring blade. So we're going to do this on each side. Good morning, everyone. I can see you all come on. I've missed you guys. I just had so many doctor's appointments this month with Dave that I ended up having to cancel a lot of my classes. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing with the thick Whisper White. So I'm scoring at 1.5. If you're just tuning in, I'm using the Christmastime is Here suite today, which is still available. Okay, that's it for scoring. Now I'm going to go ahead and fold on all of the score lines. And then we're going to do a few little snips. And then we're going to glue the corners. and you'll see how quickly this comes together. Now, normally when you create a box top and a box bottom, you want the box top to fit loosely on there. So usually you use 2 different sizes. But I'm actually going to show you a little trick today. I'm trying to find my score line. Okay, there it is. I'm going to show you a little trick. If you've never done this before, you make them the same size, but it's the gluing that's going to be the little trick. Okay, now I'm going to bring in my paper snips. I'm just going to snip and make a tab on all 4 corners. And we're also going to do that on the cardstock. So I now have 4 tabs. Okay, so that's going to fold over and you'll see that there's 4 tabs, 1 on each end. Same thing on the Whisper White cardstock. And normally I would use tear and tape to glue my corners together, but because I don't want you to have to watch me peel everything, I'm going to actually use liquid glue today. Now I did go ahead and cut the piece for the inside. It just makes a nice presentation when you have the liner on the inside. This measures 7 3/4 by 5 1/4. I'm going to go ahead and glue that in place before I fold my box. It just makes it a little easier. My tape runner doesn't seem to be rolling like it should. Okay, so we're going to glue that inside right now. Sometimes it can be a little difficult when your box is all assembled. So there's the inside of my box. Now, first trick. I'm going to go ahead and add glue to all 4 corners. Well, maybe I'll do 2 corners just so I don't make a mess here. The first trick is to make sure on the base that you're lining up the cardstock right on the edge. And you'll understand when I do side number 2. Again, make sure everything is nice and even. So there's my first side. So you'll see how quickly this comes together. So if you have some last minute gifts that you don't have boxes for, this is the way to go. Okay, there's my box. Now we're going to do the lid. The little trick on the lid, because remember, this is the same exact size as the box bottom. Now what we're going to do, instead of having this even on the edge, you're going to leave about 1/8 of an inch. Let me see if I can bring that close. 1/8 of an inch is sticking out. So it's not right on the edge. See where the fold is? I'm showing you a close-up just so you'll know. So this gives it enough give so that it's going to slide on the box. The only thing we're going to need to do is trim a little bit where the tab sticks out. Okay, so I'm adding more glue. Again, we're not lining up on the edge. We're pulling in just a tad, about 1/8 of an inch. And you'll see how nicely this fits. Okay, now all I need to do, whoops, this one didn't glue. I think I forgot to do that one. The only thing left to do now, because you're giving it a little bit of give, it's going to stick out on the edge. So you just need to go in and trim up each side and make them nice and flat. Let's see if I can do this. I think I'm gonna have to go this way. And where's the last one? I need to cut one more right here. I lost it. Okay, now that we've done this a little bit looser, look how easily it fits on the box. Okay, so same size cardstock, same size designer paper. loosen up your gluing, and it fits perfectly on there. Now let me bring the box back in so we can work on the tag. If you bought this suite, you'll know that we have 2 sheets that have this pretty flower. I'm just going to cut around it. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with it. So with this suite, we have 2 stamp sets. We have this one here that's red rubber, and we also have the dies, which is what I'm going to use to cut out the flower, the roses dies. And the second stamp set is actually photopolymer. So they mixed it up a little bit. Now let me bring the big shot in so I can cut out the flower. So this die fits perfectly on the image from the designer paper. I'm going to put a little bit of washi tape just to hold it in place. And you can also stamp this flower, and that fits in the die also. So you have 2 options there, which is great. Okay, there's my flower. Now for my tag, remember that we cut off a strip off of the designer paper. On my first cut, I had enough to do 2, cut it in half. So this is actually 6 inches by 3.5. I'm going to use the Banner Triple Punch. Yes, this is much wider than what with the guide that's on the inside, but this still fits in there if you just hold it upwards and slide it in. I just want to make sure that I see it right here. It's the same exact width as the punch, so I'm just making sure it's lined up. It looks a little funky, but all I did was finish off and make a funky little tag shape on the bottom. Now, another part of the suite is the gold glimmer dots and the gold ribbon. I'm going to go ahead and tie some ribbon around the top. Now, I never cut my ribbon off the roll. I try to teach this to my girls. I leave it intact. I do my bow, and then I cut the ribbon. That way you don't waste any. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so there's my bow. Wait, just want to make it a little smaller. And then I'm going to cut the ends at an angle. And now we're going to take the die shape that I just cut, add dimensionals. Now these are the black dimensionals that I'm trying to use up. You won't even know they're black, right? And I'm going to glue that. And what I did is I took one of the little sprigs and I butted it against the ribbon. So there's that. Let me bring that back in now that I have room, so you'll see how I did my tag. And then all I'm going to do is add some of this pretty bling. I added quite a bit of bling. I have glue on my fingers and it's just sticking to me, so this is just making it easier, I guess. So I added some in each corner, and then I added more at the top. And let me just make sure my ribbon is nice and straight. Now, I did cheat a little bit with my ribbon. I want the ribbon to stay in where it is now, so I'm actually going to take a glue dot. Have you guys done this before? I'm just going to take a glue dot, sneak that under the knot. That way it's going to stay in place. Now, let me bring my box back in. Again, I'm going to use more dimensionals. So I'm just going to add more, the dimensionals more in the center because some of the tag does stick out on the ends and I don't want to have a sticky mess underneath. And I like the way that it looks angled like that. Okay, so now this is going to go right here. I've gone ahead and cut out the shape that I need for the sentiment. I just got to find it. I used Whisper White, and I'm going to be using the Mossy Meadow ink to stamp the Merry Christmas. Now this die is from the same bundle that I'm showing you today. So there's the Merry Christmas. I'm going to add more dimensionals. And then I'm going to show you, once I'm done with this box, I'm going to show you how to do another box using the exact same size, but just adjusting the score lines. Okay, so there's the box. How easy was that? So now let me get what I need for box number 2. So again, I'm going to start out with the same designer paper that measures 8.5 by 11. If you're just tuning in, I'm making a box with the same exact, and I'm going to use my score tool this time. I think the score lines will be a little deeper. Now on the first one I did for you, I scored at 1.5. This time I'm going to do 2 1/4. And you're going to see what happens. Okay, there's the designer paper. Now we're going to do the cardstock. Whoops. So again, I'm just going to take my paper snips. Actually, let me go ahead and fold first. So for you guys that are designer paper hoarders, this is a great project if you still need to wrap some small gifts for Christmas, and it'll make you use up that designer paper. I am not a designer paper hoarder. I actually try to use my paper as much as I can. And then when a new catalog comes up, I actually cut it up in either 6 by 6 or 4 by 6, and I give it away to my customers. Okay, again, like we did before, we're going to cut on the score lines. So 4 snips on each piece. So what do you guys think is going to happen with this box? I changed up the score lines, but I'm using the same exact size paper that I used for the first box. Now I don't have a piece cut out for the inside, only because I just wanted to show you the difference in doing it this way. So again, we're going to add liquid glue. We're going to make sure that the edges are nice and flush. And you're going to see that this box is taller, but it's smaller as far as the size of it. So you can do your score lines any way you want. Just make sure that they're all the same on all 4 sides and on both pieces. So let me bring out, you can see the difference here in the size. Let me open this up. So see how the size is a lot different, and then you also have the height difference. Now let's do the designer paper. And again, don't forget, we need to make this one looser so it's going to fit. So I'm not butting up against the edge. I'm actually going in about 1/8 of an inch. If you missed the beginning of the video, I explain all this, so you can go back and watch it. Okay, just 2 more sides. So again, about 1/8 of an inch overhang. And on this one though, you'd have to make the tag to go on the top a little smaller because there's not as much room. Now I'm just going to trim all 4 of these sides. It's so weird of me to cut going this way. This would be good for the left-handers. This side is so easy as a right-hander. Okay, now let's put this on. Look how easy that was. And then again, these are the 2 boxes. So this one is scored at 1.5. This one is scored at 2 1/4. Now, just one announcement before I leave. I'm going to be changing up my schedule for 2020. I'm actually going to be sticking with Sundays from now on to do all my Facebook Lives, only because we have so many doctor's appointments and cancer treatments for Dave that I've had to cancel quite a few of my classes. So I'm going to stick to Sunday at 7:30 p.m. and that'll start in January. And I do have one more class in December. That'll be next Friday for my monthly Friday Folds class. So thanks so much for joining me, everyone. I hope you have a good day and Merry Christmas to you all. And I'll see you next week.